Right, I'm often asked this question: can anxiety cause breathing difficulties? And the straight answer is yes, it certainly can. Anxiety makes us breathe differently, and we might not be aware of this. It makes us breathe much faster than we need to, hence we take in too much oxygen. The way in which we breathe, namely we're breathing too much, makes the anxiety worse. But the great thing about breathing is we can change the way we breathe and take over, and therefore we can influence our breathing and make ourselves calm down. So attitude is a lot to do with it. Many people just take their breathing for granted, and they think there's no way they can be breathing incorrectly, and this is totally wrong. Take the example of slumping back in our chairs. We might make us feel great at the beginning that we're slumped back relaxing, but after a while our bodies ache, and then we have to correct ourselves by sitting up straight to get a nice deep breath. Well, anxiety is like this. If we don't breathe correctly after a while, then we'll have horrible sensations in our body, and we'll think something's terribly wrong. So if I take the example, we're running for a bus, let's say. Now we've probably all grasped our chest because we've strained ourselves too much. So say you go around the corner, need to catch the bus, you're about 50 yards from the bus stop, suddenly you see the bus coming, you make a mad dash for the bus stop to try and get on the bus, and immediately you start breathing from your upper chest. You're dying to get there on time, and as soon as you get to the bus stop, the bus arrives and you think, phew, thank God, I've just made it in time. Then you get on the bus, then immediately your heart rate starts going down, your panicky thoughts in your head start to go away, and your breathing starts to calm down, and you take much deeper, longer breaths. Well, that's fine, that's what your body's designed for, and it's giving you adrenaline to rush for that bus because you've created thoughts, oh my God, I'm going to be late for work or something, or late for a shopping trip, and that's absolutely fine. But what some people find with anxiety and panic attack is they're constantly getting overstimulated, their system, via the fight or flight response, which is basically adrenaline being pumped in the system, and this isn't good for our bodies over the long term, and we'll constantly, if you like, become sensitized to things. So this leads to phobias and things. So many people complain when they go into social situations, or they have to go on the motorways or cross bridges or things like that. They become really sensitized to these situations. This is often known as hypersensitivity, and this will lead to anxiety, or worst case scenario, they'll have a full-blown panic attack. So, how do we breathe properly? Well, it's pretty simple but hard to implement if you have become hypersensitized to things. As an example, just lay down horizontal on the bed or carpet, put one hand on your tummy and one hand on your chest, and when you breathe in, if you feel your tummy going up, and then when you breathe out your tummy goes down, then you're breathing fine. You should be breathing from down near your belly button, which is what is known as the diaphragm. If you're actually breathing from the upper chest, from your chest area, then you're breathing incorrectly. If you were to run for something, say you had to run in a race at school or anything, then you breathe from your upper chest, which is perfectly fine, because that's what your body's designed to do in those situations, because it's designed to get as much oxygen into your lungs as fast as possible, so the oxygen can go into your muscles and provide energy so you can run round. But you don't want this happening when you're in a meeting or you're walking through a shopping centre, because those times are totally inappropriate. So you need to learn how to practice from your tummy area, and the best time to do this is when you're relaxed. And if you're panicking and you're trying to implement this, it's very, very difficult, because your mind and body just takes over and you won't be able to breathe properly, and it'll just take over, and you'll start upper chest breathing. So why do we overbreathe? Well, as I've just said, sometimes we need to overbreathe. It goes back to our ancestors when the fight or flight response. If we were attacked by a wild animal, a wolf or a dinosaur or another tribe, we would need to suddenly have adrenaline to run away or to fight our way to freedom. We don't need this anymore. Our threats are more psychological. So in difficult situations, or what we perceive to be troublesome, difficult situations, we're actually overbreathing, and this is contributing to anxiety. And ultimately, if you overbreathe for too long, you'll hyperventilate, and that can lead to panic attacks. So does it matter that I overbreathe? Well, 100% yes, because I'll go back to the unpleasant sensations that you can have. And these are, if you're overbreathing for like 80% of the day, you often find at the end of the day you're just exhausted because your body's been like almost as if it's running the London Marathon every day. You'll also get like visual problems. Often people complain of cramps in their stomach or shakes, or they get like tingling sensations as if they're having a heart attack or something. They may get chest pains, or the worst one for me was palpitations. Whenever I used to overbreathe or hyperventilate, I used to get palpitations, and I immediately thought, oh my god, I'm having a heart attack. Thankfully nothing ever happened, and nothing was ever bad going to happen. It was simply too much oxygen going around in my system, and I wasn't burning it off as I should have done if I'd actually been running away from something. So in short, you really need to know how to breathe properly. You should know how to relax. You should know about your diet that can affect your anxiety and your breathing. And ultimately, you need to change the way you think, as it's your thoughts that can cause the anxiety and cause the breathing to accelerate. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this if you've liked this one, and please go to my article below. There's a link in there in the description, and that will give you much more information on the techniques and tools you'll need to learn to breathe properly, because once you learn to breathe properly, it will just make such a massive difference to your well-being within your body. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye bye.